A sassy and sarcastic inner voice, which sounds very similar to you, but is actually not, can be a sign of a negative inner dialogue. This kind of voice usually tries to instill fear in you or discourage you from doing the things that you'd like to do. It also focuses generally on your shortcomings and makes you feel like you are not good enough. Lets you know of all of the examples where you may have failed and use them as proof for you not being good enough. Here's how you can deal with and manage this inner voice. Firstly, learn to recognize and acknowledge it. For example, just knowing the fact that it's actually not your voice. It's a voice that has been constructed to protect you from anything that's uncomfortable because of your past experiences. That voice is not yours. Once you recognize that, you are able to separate yourself from that voice. Once you've recognized and acknowledged said voice, learn to challenge it. Now, this part is not that easy. It takes a lot of practice because usually we end up listening to this voice. Have you ever heard yourself say things like, you did that again? Or you're always doing that. What's wrong with you? You're such an idiot. And you end up believing that voice. How many times have you said, yes, this voice is right, because it sounds just like you? Now you get to challenge that voice. Ask the voice questions like, what you're saying, do you have proof for it? And if there is proof, show it to me. Once the voice starts giving you proof, you can start challenging the proof. So let's say the voice is saying to you that when you tried something before, it turned into a failure, and that you probably shouldn't try it again because it's going to be a failure again. And you then get to challenge that and say, well, the situation before was the past and the situation today is the present. A lot has changed between the past and the present. It may have been true in the past, but is it still true in the present? Ask yourself this vital question. How is this voice and what it's saying serving me? Reframe the thought. Reframing a thought means taking it from a negative point of view and looking at it from maybe a positive point of view. For example, if you had failed in trying something in the past, your reframe can be, well, number one, that was in the past and it's now the present. A lot of time has gone by and I have learned so much in this time. Number two, that was a first time experience. Now I'm not starting from scratch. I'm not starting from zero. Let's say that your inner voice is giving you a hard time about making a mistake and that you accept that that was a mistake. But what you can do to reframe that is that find the opportunity or the lesson in that mistake. You are turning something that can essentially be something that brings you down into something that uplifts you. Practice mindfulness. This one is my favorite one, and I do this very, very often, is that I practice staying in the moment. For example, let's say that you're making dinner. Stay present in that moment. Cut the onions or the broccoli or boiling the rice and stay in that moment. Think of only what you're doing. Think of what it's producing. Enjoy that very moment. If you start getting thoughts of something else, just let the thoughts come in and let them know that it's not the time to think about all of this right now. I'm doing something and I'd like to concentrate on that right now. Speak to your mind. Don't let your mind have power over you. Mindfulness lets you gain or regain the power back from your mind. Have grace for yourself. If you have been ruminating over certain thoughts, it's okay. All of us have these types of situations that we ruminate over. Everyone has an inner critic. So if you have one and you've been letting it take over for certain situations, have kindness and grace for yourself in that moment and let yourself know it's absolutely okay to be human and to keep practicing on what you are trying to achieve here. But that doesn't mean that you can't go back and forth. In fact, you actually will. If your inner voice has become an issue that is affecting all parts of your life, speak to someone, seek professional help, speak to a coach or a therapist. Your mental wellness is just as important as your physical wellness. So if you go to the doctor when you have a cold or a fever, this is the same thing. If you keep ruminating over something, it's taking over your life mentally, and it will start affecting your behavior with people as well. I'd like for you to walk away with this thought regarding the inner critic, or the sassy voice that comes up every time to let you know that there's something that you're not good at or that you are not good enough. It's actually not true. It's something that your mind has made up. It's a voice that shows up to protect you. It's trying to protect you from doing something that maybe in the past has caused you pain, or may put you in an uncomfortable situation. Your body never ever, or your mind never ever wants to be uncomfortable. It has been programmed to always keep you in the safe zone. So remember this piece of information about that critical voice, because it's very, very important for you to know why it's there and what it's doing. It's not trying to ruin your life, even though it's been given the name of a saboteur. It is trying to protect you. So have a little compassion for yourself and for the voice as well. I love sharing what I know with you. So if you enjoy these videos, I would love to know how they impact you and what comes up for you. And also don't forget to subscribe, because I'd love for us to create a community where we are feeling empowered and help each other deal with all of the disempowering thoughts and beliefs that are coming up for you. Bye for now.